Welcome to the J-Train Podcast. It's J-Train, Jared Freid, coming to you live from the quarantine cabin on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. We are here every Monday and Thursday with your emails, your stories, your questions. I say in every episode, let me say it again, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for telling a friend. Thank you for watching on YouTube, people. That's how it goes, people. You tell a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa, anyone with ears, then they do the same, and we grow and grow and grow. That's how it works. It only works via word of mouth. You got to go, hey, have you heard about this J-Train podcast? And then they go, what? What's a pod face? And it's like, yeah, it's an annoying conversation, but that's okay. I consider it payment. You can pay for this podcast in many ways. And yeah, some podcast hosts avoid the payment, conversation. I'm not that guy. I'm not afraid to know my worth. You can tell a friend. You can make it your Instagram story. You can support the sponsors if they support you. We have many sponsors. I'm not expecting you to need everything that I put out there, but one of them might give you some free money towards helping your life. That's the whole thing. We're shaking hands, people helping people. Also, you can join the Patreon. Patreon is 3 extra podcasts a week. So, you can consider that payment for the whole J-Train empire. 3 extra podcasts a week, $5 a month, patreon.com/Jared Freid. 3 very different podcasts than what we do here, but it's just the same enough to make, to feel good about, to feel comfy. It's not going to be so different that you're walking into something you don't know. It's Luxury Lounge on Wednesdays. It's One More Email on Fridays. It's Coffee with J-Train on Sundays. And I'm doing live shows. Albany, New York. I'm coming to you. I also got Atlanta coming up. I got Atlantic City coming up. I got some Jersey dates coming up. The calendar is going to be refreshed very soon. It might be today. JaredFreid.com, JaredFreid.com, JaredFreid.com. That is it for me. Let's get to our guest. Very excited. A new guest to the podcast, the hilarious comedian, Paris Sachet. Everybody, thank you, Paris, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting. I can't wait to hear these questions.
I can't wait for you to answer them. How are you? What's going on? How is the weird way to start these podcasts is, how's your pandemic been?
I know, right? I'm alive, so I feel like I can't complain too much. I feel like if we made it this far, we just have to keep making it. So I'm freshly single. So that's always, it's a good thing to give advice to people, because it's like, I was in that shit.
Sure.
Like, I know exactly what you feel. So that's exciting too.
How freshly single, and how did the last one end? Let's start from the ashes to get to, because I just love your general attitude on everything. I love watching you on stage, and I think everyone needs to go follow you at Paris Sachet. It'll be all over my Instagram. But I want, what happened? What was the deal? How long were you with this person?
So I was with this woman for 4 years. Four gay years.
4 gay years.
It's 12 straight years.
That's
how the math works in the gay community. 4 gay years is equivalent to 12 straight years.
Wow.
And I'm freshly single, like Christmas Eve single.
So did you end it? Did they end it? How did that go down? I mean, Christmas, were you like, Merry Christmas, I'm gone? Like, that's a tough breakup.
Yeah, it's hard, because it's like, if we made it through Thanksgiving, it's like, I thought we could make it to Christmas, but then it's like, oh, we can't make it through Christmas? Well, I'll just celebrate on New Year's. So I chose to leave. Like, there was things that happened, and I probably could have stayed and we could have worked it out. But fresh starts. So I just left.
Yeah, I that's the hard thing, where it's like, there is a decision to make, to like, okay, do we dig in, therapy, talk this out, tearful conversations, or do I say, you know what, I've loved, this was good for me, and it was good for you, and I hope we can find something better with the fresh start. Like, it's a decision between the two, and then if you leave, you get blamed for like, oh, you just want to give up.
Everything.
And you're like, yeah. That the leaver, you gave up, you did everything wrong, you're the one that's not trying, and it's like, well, yeah, I guess you have to take that.
Yeah, because if you stay, then it's like, but can we make it through? Then it's going to feel like this thing is hanging over us. So then the argument, and here's the problem: 2 women, arguments all the time. That's just a lot of conversation. So it's like, did we just close the books and be quiet now, or do we deal with this later? And I just feel like a fresh start is okay.
I always love talking to lesbians because I'm like, okay, I like that you understand the position. You know, like you're like, oh, we're dealing with the same thing. You know, like
we're dealing with it, and then I'm a woman too, so it's like I'm seeing how we are, and I'm like, I need to be better. And I need to be alone so I can be better.
Yeah, it's like that thing where like I get that a lot on this podcast because a lot of women write in. So it's like this, like I'm like, yeah, this dude is being, I can't be that dude. You know what I mean? Like I see myself in the men that a lot of women are writing in about. So and I go, I know exactly what he's doing. He's being a piece of shit, but I'm also like, yeah, he's not a bad person. You know, you empathize and you're like, oh, I also can't be that. You know, I'm too aware, you know?
Right. I think here's the thing. I think that some people are trash, but I think that you have to pick which trash you want. Do you want a black bag of trash or do you want gold trash? So it looks beautiful on the outside. It contains the smell and it can be better. Yeah. And I think a lot of people happen to fall into gold trash levels.
We're trying to find our trash. That's really what we're trying to get to. And I love that because that's a realistic perspective on dating because, listen, you didn't break up with the person you were with for 4 years because it was 4 years of misery. You broke up because it just wasn't the right match. It wasn't the right trash. And you say that in a loving way. Like it's a
loving way.
And it's hard to like impart that to someone because you're going, yeah, you're not my trash. And they're like, I'm not fucking trash. And you're like, everyone's trash. You know?
Everybody. Yeah, everybody. That makes people feel better. When you say everyone's trash, then it's like, oh, so we all are, yes. And we're just trying to see what trash goes with what trash. That's all we're trying to do. That's right.
Listen, we're putting, the plastics in the plastics. We're putting, it's like that, it's like that 3-tiered trash that's in the Starbucks that no one knows what to do. And you feel like an idiot. Like you're just trying to put it in the right bucket. So listen, I love Paris Sachet and I want everyone to go follow at Paris Sachet on Instagram. She has an album out. We've done the album thing. If you're listening right now, I have albums out. All these comics come on. All they want you to do is listen to they want you to listen to their jokes. I mean, what an honest, beautiful thing. And listen, all the comics that come on here, and Paris is one of them, are hilarious and wonderful. All you got to do, you're signed up for a music subscription service. Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, whatever you're signed up for, search Paris Sachet, and you can listen to her album right now. It's called My Honest Ignorance. And she also has a special out that's on Epix and Amazon Prime called Unprotected Sets. So go look her up. Fantastic comic. You're going to love her. Let's do some emails. You ready?
Let's go.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Hi, Jared. Longtime listener of the podcast and You Up. I have a lifestyle question for you. Okay, we love a lifestyle question. I wrote in about this on Luxury Lounge once. That's the Patreon exclusive show. Everyone should go sign up once, but I really don't know what to do. One of my best friends Snapchats me literally every day a picture of her Fitbit watch's screen after a workout, showing me how long she worked out and how many calories she burned with a caption like, okay, I see you, Peloton app. Or, wow, Miss Boxing. I thought it was going to stop, but it has been going on for months now and is all the time. We're both 27. I plan on having her as a bridesmaid at my wedding next year, but I just don't know what to do. It seems bizarre to me that she thinks this is normal and not annoying to me, and I'm probably not the only one she sends it to. How do I get her to stop, and or what should I say to her? Should I just ignore it and move on? My fiance said I should just do the same back, but I can't even bring myself to be that annoying or put that kind of effort after a workout. Appreciate the advice. What do you think?
I agree with the fiance. I think he should definitely do it back because I think sometimes people are annoying. They don't understand how annoying it is until they see it done to them. Or I would say block her, and then you don't even have to see it anymore.
The blocking thing, you don't think that could be like if this is a person that's going to be a bridesmaid in their wedding, like, hey, why'd you block me? You kept sending me your Fitbit stuff. I couldn't stand it anymore, but I love you. Is that the response at that point?
I think that's beautiful. That we've survived the pandemic. I think that's honesty right there. It's like, I love you so much. I blocked it so it would stop annoying me, and then I wouldn't be annoyed by you. He's actually being the better person if he blocked her.
Yeah, that's true. It is interesting. Like, I love that you reference the pandemic, because there is that thing of like, I'm done wasting time. I'm done not having the conversations that I want to have. And I think you could even say, I think that could be before blocking. You can write to this person, text them, I love you. You have to stop. And start with I love you. Bring them in for the hug and whisper in their ear the hard truth. So you hug and truth. So I love you, but you got to stop sending me the Fitbit. It's making me feel bad about my workouts. I don't care anymore. Please stop. That could be it.
But then she will want to talk. So then he has to be willing to have a conversation, because clearly this far she does not think it's annoying. So then her question may be, why did you let it happen this long? Why didn't you tell me it's been annoying?
Because I thought you would say, like, I mean, if we did this out, like if we acted this out, if I'm them, I would go, because I legitimately thought this was like a phase and I didn't think it would be going on for months at this point.
So why didn't you ever stop me? So then I could have known that it was annoying, and then maybe I would have stopped. I'm
stopping you now. I've gotten to my wit's end. And it's because, listen, it's my own insecurities. I would go into me. I'd be like, I'm a fat fuck. I'm not burning enough calories. You're making me feel bad. I have a wedding coming up in a year. I don't need to know that everyone's burning more calories than me. Please. Like, I would like literally dig myself into the grave of my own insecurities.
And what if she has a response and says, well, maybe I'm sending you this so you can be better and get prepared for your wedding?
And then I would say, you're out of the fucking wedding. I don't need. At that point, that's not a friend, though. At that point, like, what do you think? You think I'm not healthy enough? You think I don't love myself? You think now they're trying to have a conversation with me about my insecurities that are affecting them. Now we're really talking if we get that far.
But I feel like it could get to that. So that's why I just like to either tell her up front that it's annoying or block her, because then you can prevent all of that and still keep her in the wedding.
But you don't think that if you that block conversation, if they got to where we just got, we're getting there no matter what. It's like when you go back in time and you change something to try and change the future, and then they change something in the past and they come back and it's the same. They somehow work out to the same exact spot they would have been. I think the same thing happens if you block. You're going to get to, why didn't you tell me before? Like, if that person wants to get to that point, it's gonna get there. No matter what you start with.
Is he responding at all, or is he just not responding to it at all?
It's a woman, so she is. I don't know if she's responding. Okay.
Oh, so the one. Okay, so it's two women.
So it's a woman sending a woman her Fitbit watch's screen after a workout, showing how long and how many calories she burned, with the caption, okay, I see you, Peloton app, or wow, miss boxing. And she's definitely sending this to multiple people. She's going, like, let's not be, like, to the emailer, let's not be such a narcissist. They're taking that picture, they're putting up the caption, and then they're going boop, 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 to, like, a bunch of people. So, like, I mean, I would even say to her, go to some other friends and be like, hey, is she sending this to you too? Like, I that could be a little bit bad because now you're ganging up, but like,
right. I think it's just I don't think there's a great ending for it. That's why it's either you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's either she addresses it to the friend and then have the conversation because the friend is going to want to talk, or continue to ignore it.
Well, I think the block is good because now that I'm thinking about it, with that boop, 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 when you're doing all the friends, maybe she won't notice and now you're free from it. And then if they approach you with the conversation, then the conversation can be had. But I hate the idea of knowing there's a stray, bullet out there that could hit me at any time. So like, that's why the blocking thing, I just don't like living with like every text from them is like, oh my God, is this the moment that they like bring this up? So that's why I'm just an internal wuss. So I'm like, to me, I think going to her being like, hey, you got to stop sending me. It's making me insecure about my workouts. I'm trying to get ready for a wedding. I love you. And again, hug and whisper the hard truth. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Here with Paris Sachet. Go, go, go. At Paris Sachet. Go follow. Go right now. I love this question. Okay, you ready? Feather, yes. The title is Saw You at the Stand Last Night. Listen, if you're in New York City, the clubs are opening. They're at whatever capacity. They're trying their best. I'm on the team of triers, so go to the clubs. They're open. Great comics like Paris are there. Everyone that you've heard on this podcast is around these places. Go support these clubs. All these comics want to perform for you. And go have fun. She writes, saw you at the stand last night. Feather, yes, I could have laughed more last night. Okay, I don't know if that's an attack.
Right,
listen, I'm working through my new material too, okay? Why don't you relax? So she writes, what are your thoughts on going on a third date with a guy and he revealed he is kinda a comedy club groupie? He loves going to the Stand. So the Stand is one of the clubs in New York. I performed there. Paris, you've performed there? I'm assuming you do, right?
Yeah, I performed at the Stand, yes.
Yeah, so he loves going to the Stand and wanted to stay after to try to talk to the comedians. He gave one of them some mushrooms chocolate, the psychedelic kind. Is this weird or like a normal thing to have male groupies like that hang out around you? Other than that, he's been pretty normal, good sex, good conversation. Just trying to figure out if this is like a red flag. Thanks. The girl I don't know. She references another comic made fun of her. What do you think of this, Paris?
I think it's normal. I think it's normal. She said that the sex is good. He's great. I think she's worrying too much about things that do not matter. And I think she should just be happy. It's the third date. Clearly, it's been going good. The sex is good. That's a win. He's a good person. I think he just wanted to give them shrooms because he had them. And actually, that's not unnormal for comedians.
So I'll say this because this podcast like straddles the comedy world because I have comedians on like yourself. So but the audience here isn't like the diehard. For the most part, because I've met the audience for this podcast, isn't like I'm on Reddit discussing comics and stuff audience. But that audience does exist. Like if you kind of, and the Stand, the people that go there, it is a certain type of audience. Like the person she described, I know exactly who they are. They're fans of like, like I could tell you they're huge Dan Soder fans. They're huge Big J fans. Like, and those are great comedians, and they're like did that make you think of a certain type when they bring mushrooms with chocolate? Like they love Ari Shaffir?
I get it. It makes so much sense. I don't think there's a problem.
That's the thing. It makes sense to both of us. And so, but the thing about the people that are like comedy fans and like know the world and like invest in the world, they are the nicest people, but they have a little thing where they like a little bit of, I would say, darkness. Like they like the dark jokes. Like they like hearing like a personal story. So like they're not just there to hear like my joke about like, so Bumble's a fun app. Like this person like kind of hates that joke, but they love the joke where you're like a little bit grittier. And we can all go there, but I'm just saying like, right. I would say that this guy, like, he's a nice guy. He cares about comedians. He knows he has a connection to them, and maybe I would assume their darker sensibilities. So these are things to just know about him, just by the person they describe.
He has a dark side.
Yeah,
he has a dark side, and if she want to stay for the fourth date, do it. I think she should do it.
I think she should do it. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast @gmail.com, here with Paris O'Shea. Go. The album, it's called My Honest Ignorance. I'm going to swipe up from it on my Instagram, and she'll be all over my Instagram with her tagged and all that stuff. So go follow. Let's read this one. Okay. You're dealing with, you're freshly out of a relationship. Okay, Paris?
Okay.
How to deal with a breakup after 10 years. So that's 10 straight years. That's 20.
10 straight.
Jared, this is now my second email. You answered an email from me 5 years ago, and it changed everything. Oh, my God. This one is a doozy. My fiance called off our wedding and relationship 3 months before we say I do. Well, I'm very sorry to you. That's horrible. I'm not worried about the money lost or anything. I fought hard for him to stay, and he swears the problem is that he simply doesn't love me anymore. I mean, that's not so simple. I mean, that's really tough to hear, and I understand
It's
it.
horrible.
After 10 years, that his job, she puts in parentheses, a police officer, changed him, and he likes who he is, and I just don't fit in with his newfound life plan. What the fuck? My question is twofold. How on earth does someone fall out of love? And how does one start over completely at 29? Well, okay. I feel like I won't get over him in time to actually have kids, which I want, and have a whole new relationship. It's still pretty fresh, and I'm nowhere near over it at all, not even close. I'm still in the stage of crying every morning while trying to take care of our 3 pets that he left me with. Any advice? Brokenhearted. So let me start by saying I'm so sorry. This stinks. Paris, what do you have to say? Just initial thoughts, anything to respond?
Oh, he's horrible. I think he's a horrible guy, but I will say
he's a horrible guy.
I think he's a horrible guy the way he went about it. I definitely think that's horrible. And he left the pets with her. I think in his mindset, I feel like, you definitely have to split up the pets. But I think that he did that to say, here, this is something that you can hold on to, which that's not helpful. No, but I feel like the first question was, how do you fall out of love with someone? I feel like that can happen. And Corona, I think, played a part in a lot of people falling out of love with people, because then you got to see them for who they really are, like 100% being in the house, trapped inside with them. But then he's a police officer, which I feel like it's a good thing that it ended, because she gets to be free. I don't think she should be in that type of bondage.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know how he ended it, but the way she's describing the ending, it doesn't make him look good. I would agree.
No.
When someone says falling, I don't think they fall out of love with you. Like I think they again, not my trash. I think it's more that, like, to me, like, saying I fell out of love with you to me is an escape hatch where you don't have to answer any more questions. I do believe you can love someone and just know that they're not the right match for you, and you're not there yet. And so for that, like, let's give him the credit of, like, he did end it, and which is like, I always give credit to that person, because I'm like, okay, you wouldn't have had a good life with them anyways. Life wouldn't have been great. Like, and she writes, the interesting part is she writes this part of the email in a languaging that I could turn in 2 seconds. How on earth does someone fall out of love? Like, let's change that sentence to, man, how on earth could I have been with someone who I wouldn't have been happy with?
Right.
Like, let's change the perspective. And how does someone start over completely at 29? I would go, you're fucking 29.
Yeah, you're 20. That was my next thing. Like, you're 20. This is the prime. He did it. It hurts, I'm sure, and it's horrible. But I think it's a good time for a fresh start.
Absolutely. 29, you were with them for 10 years. That means you started at 19. I understand how hard this is, because you feel like you've become like Megatron, where you've become like one person. Now it's time to find out what you are on your own. Like, this is a growth time. I feel like I won't get over them in time to have kids, which I want. You'll definitely you'll be okay.
You definitely will.
I understand the initial reaction of, like, you're looking at time and how many months to fall in love. Your 10-year relationship means nothing on the next relationship. The next one, you could be like, wow, holy shit, I love this person. 6 months later, you're in the thick of it. You've forgotten about the last thing. Like, I think when you look at when you say a 10-year breakup after 10 years, it's hard to be like, well, I guess I'm 10 years away from the next life stage.
Right,
no, that's not.
Yeah,
no, that's not how it works. You were 19 when you met this guy, and now you're 29. And now it's time to, like, be an adult for the first time. To me, like, this is exciting.
Yeah, it sounds like that she grew as a person in the relationship, but I think at 29 now she gets to grow as a single person. So I feel like how she can heal and recover is figuring out who she is as a person. What is she like? Like, doing things that she's into, getting her joy back as a person alone, outside of a relationship.
What a fun thing to be able to, like, do new things that without thinking, oh, will he like this? Will he want to go? No, you don't have to think of that. So let's try and think in the positivity. And I would also say to this person, family and friends, you have to see, like, You have to figure, like, there was something off about this relationship. You might not see it now, but there was something off, okay? And whether you didn't see it in it, but you will know it later in life. You need to go hang with family and friends to see what those relationships feel like that aren't off. Like,
right.
Oh, the ones that have no contingencies. Like, oh, my friend and I get together in this way. We're totally cool. This relationship has things that my 10-year relationship never had. That's what you're looking for. This is a refresh on your perspective to me.
I definitely agree. And I think definitely change your perspective. So let's start saying I am going to heal. I will find someone, but don't go in the intentions that you're looking. She doesn't need to look. She's 29. It's going to happen whenever it's going to happen. But I think she just needs to be free and, and look at it as, you know what, him leaving me, he allowed me to be free. She needs to look at it as a good thing.
Be thankful. And I think that's that's like what that old SNL sketch. It's like where like, look in the mirror. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be having fun. I'm going to meet new people. There's going to be heartbreak, but it's going to be for the best. I went on birthright to Israel, and I remember the leader of the trip was this like just the most opposite of me ever. He was just like the sun and the moon and the stars. He had a saying for everything. He's a wind catcher, like a dream catcher type of dude. But he did say something that I actually like take to this day. And it's like everything happens for a reason and everything happens for the best. That's just how, because if you look at it the other way, then what are we doing here?
Right. I agree. I totally agree. And I think timing is everything. So I feel like in the right time, she will find this person. She's 29. She'll have kids. She may have 3 or more, and it'll be way better than it was with the guy who left you with the 3 dogs. He left 3 animals with you. You don't want kids with him. No. So just look at it on the bright side.
He left a zoo. The J Train podcast is brought to you by FabFitFun. The spring box is on sale now. All of us have grown this year. We found new hobbies, new things we like. I'm working out inside of my apartment. I never thought I would like home workouts, but now I'm into them because we kind of had to pivot to figure out how to live in this new lifestyle. This spring, glow up with FabFitFun. Their spring box is centered around the theme Grow Forth and has tons of products that support self-care and growth. Plus, 20 of the brands in the spring box are from female-founded brands. That's amazing. I'm going to tell you right now, the spring box is great because I just love that FabFitFun is allowing us to treat ourselves. It comes with so many great goodies that you would maybe pass by in the store. You'd say, I don't deserve it. It's not my birthday. It's not Christmas. It's not, whatever holiday you would give yourself a gift. Make the spring a holiday. Make this spring the change of the season, the fact that we're all getting out of the house a little bit more, a celebration, because FabFitFun has so many cool things in here. Milk Makeup Watermelon Brightening Face Mask and Mini Watermelon Brightening Face Serum. It even makes me glow. Short Stories LED Indoor Planter with organic basil seeds. That's why they call me the board lord. Listen, that's pretty cool. I like that we can turn our home into our oasis. Splendid faux fur slippers, crystal pink, because self-care, self-love. Love a pair of slips. You can choose from a wide variety of products when you order. Picking is the most fun part, like the Bloomingville woven seagrass coasters or the pink sky cactus cup to add some style to your cocktail. Get seasonal must-haves without leaving home. Listen, people, I love FabFitFun, and I know you guys are going to love it too. And if you haven't already, it's time. It's time to treat yourself, because one of the items in this box is going to become a part of your daily life, and that's huge. And you wouldn't have ever found out if it wasn't for FabFitFun. Order your spring box today. Sign up now so you can snag amazing products like the Short Stories LED Indoor Plant or MAC Lipstick Duo when you customize. Use coupon code JTRAIN for $10 off your first box at www.fabfitfun.com. That's code JTRAIN at fabfitfun.com. Once again, www.fabfitfun.com, coupon code JTRAIN for $10 off your first box, and glow up with FabFitFun. The J Train podcast is brought to you by Blue Blocks. Blue Blocks makes the best sleep mask known to man. This isn't the complimentary mask you get for showing up to an airplane. This is designed to block out all of the light. That's the thing. That's what we all do. We get the face mask from the airplane or from the the care package, and we use it and we go, this is junk. No. Blue Blocks took that and they made the best one known to man. I have worn it. I wear it all the time. It is so good, blocks out all the light. And if you need to catch some Z's, this is the mask for you. Any amount of light can keep me up. Even red light on my TV will annoy the hell out of me. The Remedy sleep mask from Blue Blocks blocks out everything. Total darkness, 100% blackout. It's like the Sandman is personally cupping your eyes so you drift off to the dreamland. Zero eye pressure, easy to sleep in. Here's the other thing. You've been wearing a mask all year long. So now you're basically trained for something to be on your face. Maybe before you'd be like, this is unnatural. Now it's natural, and I am going to tell you right from me, it's natural for me. It's comfortable. I fall asleep. I've had some of my best sleeps with it on. Darkness is good for you. It's proven to increase restorative sleep, both REM and deep sleep. Adjustable head strap that's non-elastic, so it doesn't wear out. Plus, its contoured sides allow for side and belly sleepers. No slipping. It's ultra lightweight. This breathable fabric won't leave you feeling overheated. They thought of everything. Blue Blocks has done their research to make the best sleep mask available. I love this. And listen, I wear them and I love them. Support them because they support the show. Get yours today and 20% off with code JTRAIN at blueblocks.com/JTRAIN. That's BLUBLOX.com/JTRAIN for 20% off. blueblocks.com/JTRAIN. Use code JTRAIN for 20% off. Sleep tight. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. Here with Paris O'Shea. Go. Go follow right now at Paris O'Shea on Instagram. The album, My Honest Ignorance. Why'd you call it My Honest Ignorance?
Because I think that's what my comedy is. I think it's true. It's ignorant, but it's so honest that you have to love it because I'm giving you really who I am.
That's the fun part about stand-up is like, like with all this stuff in the world of like, you said that, you said this makes you this type of person. Like all you're saying when you do stand-up is, okay, here's what I think, here's why. And that's it. Right. You don't have to agree, but here's the why is the punchline. Like funny. But it's like, yeah, here's how I think on this subject and take it or leave it, but hopefully you laugh at it. But okay, so we're doing a lot of breakup emails, okay?
Oh, they must have knew. They must have knew what I was going through. Okay,
let's do it. This is an interesting one because I think it's. Okay. I think this is like, this is an email. I think to comedians, like just what we're talking about right now with the, hear me out. Like that's every joke is hear me out, and I think this is a title where okay. So ready? How to end an engagement but not the relationship. Okay. Jared, feather. I've been with my fiance for 7 years. Started dating when I was 21. He was 24. 2 years engaged. I have never been a specifically hyped person about event planning. Specifically, I never had a massive vision on how my one-day wedding would go. When I got engaged, I was happy and in love, but nothing ever made me want to start planning a wedding. I didn't realize that was weird until a few of my other friends got engaged after me and were ecstatic to plan and have theirs ASAP and made things happen with Zoom weddings, courthouse weddings, and reschedulings regardless of COVID. They were set on getting married. But when it came to me, people asked how I was coping with the quote-unquote best day of my life being moved. I had nothing to say. I was super complacent, non-committal, and grumpy throughout what I felt like forced joy and was ultimately thankful when COVID canceled our first date in December of 2020. We reset to December 2021 only by his pushing and action, okay? Though he has also done no planning. My gut knows that the fact that I was relieved about COVID canceling my wedding is important and that I'm not ready to get married, but I don't think it's specifically about him. Can I cancel a wedding and not a relationship? Sincerely thankful for COVID procrastinating my cold feet. Listen, I said this at the beginning of the pandemic, and I believe this. Like, For some people, the pandemic was a blessing, as crazy as that sounds. And
I agree.
This person, like Pete, they're like, it's funny to me, and this is kind of dark, but it's still funny that this person like sees on the TV 500,000 dead, and they're like, yeah, but also, got to push off the wedding.
Yeah, I think that she's acknowledging that she is the beautiful trash that we're discussing.
Sure.
And she's being the bigger person because she's saying it's not him. So she's already accepted she is the problem and she shouldn't move forward because her gut is telling her not to. I think she's being the bigger person here. Now, how to call it off without calling off the relationship, I feel like that's going to require a lot of communication.
Yeah, that's you have to have a hard discussion. And like, I think also you have to have the first discussion, and it's happening through this email. I think you're right, is the one with yourself. Am I, so she's already having a very honest, and I love this email for the same reason that you're saying, like, wow, this is a person that's like they're writing down all the hard truths, which is like, that's kind of hard about it. But I would also say, are you not excited for a wedding, or are you not excited to marry him? And I think, like, when you say I've never thought of a wedding as a big deal, then that's okay. That's a good start. Like, I met someone the other day. They were like, they were very proud of that they're with their partner 10 years, 2 kids, not married. And it was a woman that I was talking to, and she was like, this is like, she goes, I love it. I'm a commitment phobe. This is kind of how I deal with it. And everyone's just looking for a way to make the shot go straight. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, everyone's looking for a way to like make their, again, my trash fit with someone else's trash in that sense. So when I hear this, you have to go, is it him? Is it the wedding? She's saying it's not him, but are you having sex? Are you communicating in other ways?
Right.
Do you feel good when you're around him? These are all questions you have to suss out. Then it's, hey, let's sit down. We got to talk about this wedding. And the fact that he's not planning it either, like, all right, it doesn't really matter to him. It feels like he's maybe doing this to make you happy. Like, he might be like, yeah, let's go. And at that point, is it, do you want the courthouse wedding and let's just get it over with so that like this is done? Or do I not want to get married at all and we want to live in this like kind of different lifestyle? But we have to discuss it. It's got to be you can't leave it just open-ended.
Yeah, I think it definitely needs a conversation. I think the email that she sent in, this can be some of the points that she touch on when they discuss it, because he may feel the same way. They might be together and feel the same way, and they don't even know it because they're trying to please each other. So I think a conversation definitely needs to be had. They might realize they are better together in a relationship, and nobody wants the marriage.
Absolutely. And I'm sure, and here's what happens when you start getting engaged, when you're moving in, the family gets involved. So not, she might be like, I'm doing this wedding at this point, rescheduling and all this for your mom. And he might go, well, fuck my mom. Like I'm doing this for you. You know what I mean? Like, right. Or he might say, no, my mom needs a wedding. Like, he might say that too. And that's a hard conversation, but that's where this starts. And I think, you're right. Like, read this email. Like, hey, I have to read you something. This is something I wrote into a podcast. It might be hard to hear, but like, this is my thoughts unfiltered in a safe space, and I hope you can give me that same space. Like
you said earlier, definitely the hug first. Start it off with love, and then have the conversation.
Hug and whisper. Bring them in. We gotta talk. Yeah. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. I like this one. Well, interesting. I wanted to read it, but they wrote, it's an interesting email, but then it says, disregard, he's mine now, smiley face. So I have to disregard. I have to play by the rules of the podcast. And anytime, because this happens now and again, I'll get an email and then there'll be a follow-up with, please do not read it. And
so they already solved their own problems?
I guess so. I would have liked to have helped with that. Okay. This is the second one in a row. Please don't publish. He listens.
you guys are getting it together. It just takes time.
It just takes time. Okay, let's do it. I'm going through these. Okay, ready? Another marriage question, and listen. This is the theme today. Serious relationships. You're out. Are you dating? Are you out? I don't.
I'm dating. I'm dating, and I just realized that's how I know it's so much trash. So it's like at this point, I don't want any commitment. I'm just having fun and enjoying it. I'm 29. So to the girl question earlier, I'm just getting started. So now get to fly my single wings and see what's out here. So it feels good. That's how I know she'll be fine.
I would imagine you're a fun date. You got to be having fun.
I'm having so much fun. Sometimes I have to say, this seems like too much fun.
Really?
Yeah. Some things are like, you know what? This is too much fun because women, it's different. It's different dating women and the emotions are high.
So give me the biggest difference. Like now dating, are you dating younger? Like 29 is an age where you can go younger, you can go older. Are you
younger and older? Okay, here, matter of fact, this is perfect. Younger and older. So a younger girl, she sent me a nude the other day, but then the older woman sent me a reservation. So it's like, kind of in the middle. It's too fun. It's like you get the best of both worlds. You can't choose.
And both of those feel good. Like
both of them are great, but I'm going to get this food because that is amazing. That speaks to my heart.
Yeah. When you get a reservation, you go look at the menu, you decide what you would pick out, you hope what they pick out. When you get a nude, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to see those later in real life. Like, that's fun too. Oh, you're getting the best of everything. I'm eternally jealous. Question. Close friend wants to get married is superficial. Jared, absolutely adore you in this podcast and you up. Thanks for keeping me entertained during quarantine. I had a question about helping a friend with dating. My close male friend, he's 30, male, I'm 29, female, is eager to meet someone and have a serious relationship. I'm not sure he's had one yet, minus some months-long flings here and there. I regularly give him advice, including on texting and such, but I find his process particularly off-putting. He's quite superficial, only gets fixated on women who are very, quote-unquote, obviously pretty, and quick to ignore or not pursue his other matches he thinks are less hot, even if they're totally cute. Meanwhile, he is not that conventionally attractive himself. It's becoming harder for me to empathize when he complains he can't find anyone or keeps getting ghosted, rejected by these really desirable women. Any advice for being a good friend but not hitting them with the ugly truth? So what do you think about this?
I think that in his mind, the level of women that he deserves is pretty high. And then in life, he's starting to see the ones that he wants do not want him. But it sounds like he doesn't want the ones that want him.
Yeah, and I know guys like this. And they are like tough to be around because the way they talk about it, it's like, oh, I can't find anyone. And then you're like, what about that? And then they're just like super like everything puts them off. And I'm like, the problem becomes it's the ego of a man. And this is the thing that I think women talk to men. They're like, what are you fucking saying? Like what? Like they can't understand. And it's like, there's a point where you kind of have to like back away from your buddy. And here's the thing about him. He's going to find a lot of heartbreak and problems, but that's his problem that he has to learn through. You can't teach him that. He has to figure out. Like, he has to see, like, oh, I go for women that are out of, quote-unquote, my league, but he doesn't think they're out of his league. He thinks he's, his mom told him he was handsome in a suit once, so now he's unbelievable. Right? Like,
I agree.
So, like, you have to let him, it's like with stand-up. Like, I can't go to someone and be like, I hate that joke you tell. They have to let it bomb. It has to bomb for them. And sometimes the frustrating part about stand-up is you see someone with like a stupid joke and it crushes and that holds them back a little bit. And you're like, because they always do that easy joke. So like this guy might find a woman. You might find that your friend's going to find a woman that is like, you're going to go, your jaw is going to drop. You're like, I can't believe this worked out for him. But then it's going to end up fucking him over in the future. Like, like it's just.
It will be the girl that will tell him the raw truth that she won't end up telling him. One of these beautiful women will bring him back down to reality. And then I think he'll snap out of it and date a girl who wants to pursue him. I think it's going to take the pretty woman to do it.
I think so too. And as a friend, I think when they keep saying I can't find anyone, like all you could say is like, just keep going. Or, hey, how about this? Listen to the J Train podcast, and maybe that'll help you out with some empathy and things like that. So, the J Train podcast is brought to you by Solo Stove. I got to say, there's nothing better than sitting by the fire. It is a memory. It is family. It is friends. It is fun. It's not a night at the club. It's a night making memories with friends and people that you love. And that's what sitting by the fire is all about. You don't sit by the fire with acquaintances. You sit by the fire with people you want to hang with. Life's best moments happen around a roaring fire, and a smokeless fire pit from Solo Stove makes your fireside moments even more memorable. Solo Stove's ingenious smokeless design makes it so you can sit back, relax, and actually enjoy the warmth of a fire instead of dodging fumes. And here's one more reason to love spring. Solo Stove is offering a free fire pit stand with the purchase of any smokeless fire pit during their spring sale. Get the most from spring and get the most from your new smokeless fire pit. Win-win. Solo Stove is great because they let cool air pass under the pit, creating an insulated barrier that shields the ground like a wood deck. I got to tell you, right now, we're all looking to extend our surroundings. What do I mean by that? What I mean is you don't want to, you have a space in the yard you're not using. You have a rooftop that you go to maybe when it's warm enough. You have a deck that you hang out on if the weather's right. Solo Stove extends the barriers with which we live so that you can use an area that you weren't using before. Solo Stove creates story-worthy memories, fireside fumes not included. The stainless steel construction is designed to regulate airflow and burn more efficiently. There's so little smoke, you'll wonder how there's so much fire. No campfire smell in your clothes and hair, nothing left but ultrafine ash for easy cleanup. That's huge because you want this to be an easy, fun thing. The easier and more relaxed it is, the more you're going to do it again and again. So if there's no point where you go, let's not do the Solo Stove tonight because it's going to make our clothes smell. You're never going to have it because there's no smoke. That's great. From camp stoves to backyard bonfires, Solo Stove products are portable and built to last, easy to light with a few bits of starter. Your fire's blazing in minutes. Buy a fire pit during their spring sale and get a free stand, making your Solo Stove even more versatile. And Solo Stove is so confident in the products, they give you a lifetime warranty for every purchase. Make this spring one to remember with a smokeless fire pit from Solo Stove and get a free stand with any purchase of a fire pit. Just use our promo code JTRAIN, JTRAIN, JTRAIN. Use promo code JTRAIN at checkout. That's solostove.com, promo code JTRAIN. This moment brought to you by Manscaped. Ooh, I love Manscaped. Listen, it's the thing that we kind of let go of. The hair starts growing. You say, I'll get to it when I get to it. But you walk more confidently. You feel better in yourself when you are, groomed. And Manscaped is the only men's brand exclusively for below-the-belt grooming made for guys. But here's the secret. Girls use it too. Get the Perfect Package 3.0 Essentials Kit. This puppy comes with the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0, the best trimmer on the market, with a cutting-edge ceramic blade. Their advanced skin-safe technology ensures you won't cut your most delicate area. And the best part is, with the Perfect Package, you also get a few goodies for your man. The Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, and the Crop Reviver. Keep your balls smelling fresh. Subscribe and get a new replacement blade refill for your lawnmower trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months. Plus, get 2 free gifts, the Shed travel bag and their patented high-performance chafe-reducing Manscaped boxer briefs. But wait, there's more. If you love that beautiful ball smell, get Manscaped's new refined cologne, the perfect package for your perfect package. I would say this. If you have a guy in your life, this is a great gift. I use this. I think it's great. And because I used to use one that it wasn't made for below the belt. And that's important because I would get little cuts and nicks, and it hurts. It's not fun. So This is the perfect gift for your man. Use it for yourself, whatever. Get 20% off and free shipping with code JTRAIN at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with code JTRAIN at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. JTrainPodcast at gmail.com. JTrainPodcast at gmail.com. Here with Paris O'Shea. Go. At Paris O'Shea. Let's keep going. We got more. This one's called Weirdest Night of My Life. Should we read it?
Let's go.
Okay. You know when people say, we get a lot of, like, as comics, I feel like we get coded language. Like, someone the other day, like, messaged me, if you need any material. It's like, no, I don't need any material. I'm going to be okay. Like, you know, like, it's like this, like, weird, like, trying to, like, one up. I don't know. And believe me, I understand that it's my insecurity. But this person wrote, not really a question, but I feel like your audience would get a kick out of this story. Okay, we'll see. I live in Canada. So the drinking age is 19. My mom's birthday is 11 days before mine, so her, my dad, and my sister went out for her birthday, and I watched my nephew and was the designated driver because I was still 18. I get called around 2 a.m. to come pick them up, so I put my sister's 1.5-year-old in the car and go get them. My dad gets in the car first. I asked where everyone else is, and he said, your mom is kissing some boy, and I don't know where your sister is. Okay. This is...
Wow.
I look to the door, and there's my mom with some 20-year-old hugging her and giving her a kiss. She comes to the car, and he comes too. He kisses her again. Then from the back seat, my dad tells him that's enough. It gets weirder. My sister comes out with some guy in tow. She's single, so not too off base. She tells me and my parents she wants to bring him home. I told her no because there's no room in the car, a 5-seat hatchback. My dad looks at her and says, if you want to bring him home, put him in the trunk. So this dude climbed in the hatchback of my little car, sat there squished for the 20-minute drive home, making small talk with my parents. I still don't know how my dad was okay with it. Probably the weirdest sober night of my life and favorite story to tell when someone says they have a weird family. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is definitely a family problem because we've seen the mom. It stems from the mom. So
yeah.
I mean,
what do you think of that? I don't even know. We've never really done an email like that.
I think the family needs therapy, to be honest, because that's a lot in one car, and it's the dad and the mom together.
It seems as though they are.
Right. So that's strange already in itself.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing. Like, listen, it's a brave new world. Everyone's trying to figure out their shit. I mean, this story would make if this story was like, hey, this happened last night after we were all vaccinated, I would go, okay, people are about to get weird. Like, I was at a show the other night. Like, I do think the world is going to be less. Like, I think we're all going to be like less. You know, we're not going to hold in as much anymore, and we've kind of
right. We're just going to be free. We're just going to do
free.
Exactly what we want to do. Mm-hmm.
And I was at a show the other night. I'm hosting. And there's I'm trying to get the crowd a little bit warmed up. And I say, and there's a man and 2 women sitting together. And now, because of COVID, there's plexiglass everywhere. So you see which groups are together for sure. So there's a man and 2 women. And I go, hey, what's the dynamic of your relationship? And the woman who's on the right. So it's 3 in a row, woman, man. The woman on the right goes, that's my husband, and this is our good friend. And then I look over, and the husband's hand is on the good friend's leg. And I go, then why is his hand on her leg? And they all kind of like looked at me like kind of like a deer in headlights. And I was like, and the whole crowd did like everyone got, that tense quiet? Like everyone was like, what? And I go, how did you meet your good friend? And they're like, they had no answer, but they were like, all 3 of them had the biggest grins on their faces. All 3 of them seemed happy and into this. And I'm like, and I was like, this is what's going to happen. Like, this is the world we're entering into. This is the post Thanos blip that we're getting into.
We don't have much time. We don't have much time yet left. So they're like, you know what? I want 2 relationships. I'm going to do them both at the same time.
I'm in. And I think that's like, for this person that wrote in about their dad, like, again, this is back to we're all trying to find our own trash. You know, like the your
mom just wants to see if she still has her groove, and clearly she does. I think the girl who wrote the story, she needs to get a person too. We have to just keep the train going.
It works for them. That's what you always end up saying. Like that's like what married people, like when people are married a long time, they always do this thing with it works for them because it's so hard. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Here with Paris O'Shea. Go follow right now. Hilarious comic. Let's do this one. Okay. Is something wrong with me or just my picker? Okay. Hello there. I'm a fairly new listener, but I've been so in love with your podcast since I found it. I like listening to your opinion on things, so I was hoping you could help me out or make me feel less crazy. Fingers crossed you can do both. I'm 28. I've never been in a serious relationship. I was a late bloomer and always tell people I feel like my college experience was like everyone else's high school experience. Okay, let me start by saying that's okay.
That's totally fine.
And also, you know it. You know, like you're sitting here going, so I understand where there's this need to, like, she writes, I'm 28 and I've never been in a serious relationship. But if you say my college was more like your high school, then maybe you shouldn't have been in a real relationship. Like, that's not a weird thing.
Right.
Those go together. And then she writes, and by late bloomer, I mean, I've never kissed anyone until I was 18, lost my virginity at 26. I've been on numerous dating apps for numerous years and never seemed to find a more serious relationship like I am looking for, which might be because I am looking for this on dating apps, LOL. There have been many first dates, but very few second dates and almost no third dates. I seem to either find guys I'm definitely not interested in or guys I'm interested in that seem to be fuckboys and never want anything serious. I also seem to go on the first date and decide within the first few minutes if I'm going to see them again. Is there something wrong with me or something wrong with my picker? I can't decipher if I'm not attracted to the men who want serious relationships, if I am picking men who are not serious for a reason, or if I'm writing off men too easily. What might be the issue? Is it me or my picker? Any help will be greatly appreciated. The more I said me or my picker, I was like, it became like, you know, when like the more you say something, the weirder it sounds. That sounded weird to me. Paris, any thoughts?
I think that she has to stop thinking so much. I think she needs to just live. I think she needs to live a little more. I think she's too in her head with the late bloomer thing, the age that she started sex. Stop looking and just let it come. I think she just needs to be more free. Maybe on these dating apps, people are coming in with the intention to have sex. And then they find out her story and she doesn't want sex. So it's like, yes, they'll leave. But maybe she doesn't know what she's looking for.
If the dating apps were called I'd like to fuck apps, no women would be on them, but that's what they are to men.
And as a woman, I totally agree. Like, don't show up here on Tinder and you're telling me you're looking for love. Absolutely not.
How are you meeting people? Are you meeting on dating apps?
So I downloaded one dating app just to see what it's about. They told me to download Tinder. I did. I got a match. We met up. We had sex, and I deleted the app. I said, see, this is exactly what it's for. Done. My part is done. It works.
Yeah. Wow. It's doing. Well, here's the thing. And I think what you just said is very important for her to hear. These apps can be very transactional and businesslike. And if someone's there for sex, like, she's being transactional too. She's like, I make my decision the first 15 minutes. It's like, okay, like, to me, like, that makes it too business. It makes it takes away the idea of like getting to know someone. I think she needs to put down the apps for a second. Let's get off the apps. Get off the transactional nature, because she needs to figure out what real relationships feel like. Like, if I'm her, I would tell your friends, hey, I'm single and I'm looking to meet people. Who do you guys know? Like, I think you need more, especially because you're like a late bloomer, you need more eyes on your situation. You need more consequence. You need more small town. So I would get into the game of going and hanging out with friends, letting things come to you, as Paris is saying, and also, you know, letting them know, like, hey, I'm looking to meet people. If you know anybody, I'm down. Like, and being open to that. Like, I think the apps can get you in just a very business-like transactional way that can be defeating, but also not helpful to someone who's trying to figure out what they like. Because I don't think this person knows what they like. They're only giving them a few minutes at the beginning, and then it's over.
That's what I say. I don't think that she fully knows what she wants. So she knows what she doesn't want, but she doesn't know what she do want. I definitely think she should go into the world and have these in person just to feel it, because the dating app is just, it's set up, it's just text, and then you decide if you call. Some people don't talk prior to the date, then they get to the date. It's like, I think she just needs to live a little more. Maybe she needs to have more sex to see what she actually doesn't want and what she actually does want.
I love what you say. She's got to feel it. And this is, I think the apps put like a, saran wrap over it. You don't feel real stuff. And it's, especially if you're not used to it, if you've never dated before, let's have some real meetings. jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. Here with Paris Sachet. Let's do one more email. You ready?
Let's go.
This is called Too Many Emojis. Ready? Okay. Papa JT and Classic Shelb. That's our producer who's not here today, but I long-time listener, second time feathering your nuts with an email. And then they put in the email the peanut emojis. I love you, and could go on and on about how great you are. That's way too nice, but I'll get right to it. I met a guy on a dating app, and we set a date pretty quickly, but we had to push it out a week because I was out of town. We have been sending some texts back and forth, and so far he seems very nice, sweet, and semi-normal. The only problem is he is using an emoji in literally every single text, screenshots attached. And it's not even one that correlates with the conversation. It's always just the blushing face emoji. I'm not sure if this is a nervous tick or if it's his way of seeming non-threatening, but at this point, it's almost having the opposite effect. And she put knife emoji. Do I still go out with him if his texting habits annoy me? Should I just let him blast me with emojis and maybe I'll get over it? Or do I say something and sound like a monster? Thanks in advance. Please bring back Shelby's news updates. Yeah, we got to bring back news. P.S. I was trying to be funny, including all of my emojis, and I had 2 margaritas at dinner. Don't judge me. Okay, so she doesn't want to be judged, but she's going to judge this guy. So I'll bring up the screenshots. You ready? I'll read them to you.
Let's see.
He writes, yes, I do, blushy face emoji. Did you hear we are having the All-Star game? She writes, hell yeah, I did. Already asked off work, LOL. Going to try to go. He writes, I'll go with you, blushing face emoji. Right? LOL. We'll see how our first date goes first. He writes, okay, sounds good, blushing face emoji. I'm looking forward to it, blushing face emoji. Okay, it's a little too much. She writes, lower your expectations. He writes, I'm excited, blushing face emoji. You're allowed to be, LOL. I'm just saying, if you lower your expectations, you can't be let down if it's terrible. I don't think it will be terrible, blushing face emoji. I don't either, but I'm just saying. So what do you think of that text exchange, Paris?
I agree that too many emojis is too much. And I think maybe he is trying to give her this image of, oh, I'm a nice guy. Because it's the blushing face. I don't understand it at all. It's almost like it's a signature. Like, remember when the signatures was already be stored into the text messages? So no matter what you sent, the signature will automatically come?
So no, I don't remember that. That's something that happened?
Yeah, like BlackBerry. So like in an email, remember BlackBerry?
Oh, yeah, sent from my BlackBerry, yeah.
Right. So it's starting to feel like that because it's a consistent blushing face emoji, but I think he's doing it to be a nice guy. I think she should tell him on the date.
She should go on the date. This doesn't strike me as like he's a dangerous person. I would say he's very excited to go out with you. I think that's a nice thing. Listen, that's a great thing for a first date, but it's also not something to like get ahead of yourself about. Just know that he's excited to go out with you. Like, that's a fun thing. I think the blushing face is him just trying to show that, because the other things he says in his text is like, he's like looking to go with her to the All-Star game, and she's like, oh, whoa, back off. That could be off-putting. I can understand, like, a lot of people want the person they can't get, and then the person that they can get right away, they're like, ugh, what do you want me so badly for? Shouldn't you have other things? So that happens. I can understand how this is a turn-off, but I'd give him a first date. And this also happens when a date, and she wrote in her email, a date got canceled and it got pushed off another week. What you're trying to do when a date gets pushed off a week and you do have a reschedule made is keep the ball in the air. You're trying to be fun and cool when you have nothing. You're trying to keep conversation going with someone you know nothing about. And that's really hard. So I think what he's doing is trying to let you know, I don't have a lot to say, but I am excited. And because even when she gets into the All-Star game, he's like, yeah, let's go. And it's like, all right, okay, back it off a
like
little
she's
bit.
like, calm down. But he's still, I think he's just happy to enjoy the time with her that they have planned. And he also doesn't want to ruin it. Now, he doesn't know that she hates these things so much. That's why he keeps doing it. But I feel like on the date, she can just let him know. Like, she can ask, why do you use blushing face emojis all the time? Maybe he has a reason.
Absolutely. And you can even make fun of it. Like, this is a way to get to know each other, is like a little bit through ball busting. Like, just to be like, I thought, like, like when he's talking, like, hey, it's great to meet you, great to meet you. And then, like, it's somewhere in the conversation, I thought you'd be blushing the whole time. You send so many blushing face emojis. I thought that's what you looked like. You know, something like that.
I agree.
That's like fun, but kind of like a shot at him. See how he takes it. Here's the thing. You're going on this date to see if you like them, not to make them like you. So if you're yourself and it's within your nature to give them shit about the blushy face emojis, and you did think it was kind of weird, let them know. I think it's kind of weird. It's okay if you don't connect because of that. But at least you're being honest and in a nice way, as nice a way as you can. Definitely.
Or I would even go as far as sending good morning with the blushing face. Like, I would beat him to it just to say, I just thought that this is what was going to happen anyway. Like, just make it fun. He's excited. Just have fun.
Or send an emoji that makes no sense with what you're saying, like his. Like, hey, good morning, and then like a cloud and a moon and this, and then like a doctor emoji, and he'll be like, what's going on? I don't know. You send weird emojis, so I figured I'd match your style.
Definitely match the style. I think that's the one. Yeah. Match the energy, and it'll be a good time.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Paris O'Shea, thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope that they all take the advice and it all works out in the end.
That's right. At Paris O'Shea, go follow the album My Honest Ignorance, the special, Epics, Amazon Pride, Unprotected Sex. I'm Jared Freid. We're here every Monday and Thursday with your emails, your stories, your questions. We'll be back next episode. Boom! Don't forget to like the video you just watched. I have many more. Subscribe to the channel right now. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, you fool! There's even a bell you can click to. Now you've got your week set Monday through Friday. I'm here for you.